all we have to do is set up for the most electrifying move in Pogo Esports Entertainment. It's that combo play, Big Mac and the fries. 1, 2, hit 'em with that. What is going on, everyone? Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Kieran, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at some battles in the Great League Remix, featuring a very fun team consisting of a Shadow, Kanto, Ninetales in the lead, with Pidgeot and Dragalge in the back. So this is not exactly an ABB team, and it does have some overlapping weaknesses throughout. Ninetales and Pidgeot are going to both be very weak to rock, Ninetales and Dragalge are going to be very weak to ground, and Pidgeot and Dragalge are both going to be very weak to ice. So there will definitely be some obstacles to overcome with a team like this. Despite that, I felt it did perform very well, and over 20 battles we were able to win 16 of them. Now of course we do have to remember these battles take place in the very early stages of Season 11, so for that reason I did leave a lot of battles out and decided to only include the most entertaining battles and the ones we could learn from. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It really helps the channel grow, and without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So as I did mention in the intro, this video will be taking a look at the best battles with this team, and I believe all of them are against either a neutral or very bad lead. And as you could see on the screen, there are going to be a lot of threats to this team. Unova Stunfisk, probably the biggest one. Regirock in the lead is also very challenging. Common picks such as Vigoroth and Zweilous could also present issues. Jumping into the first battle, we have one of the more challenging leads in the form of Whiscash because it defeats both Ninetales and Dragalge as a ground type. We swap out into Pidgeot and the opponent comes in with a Hypno. We are building up to the Brave Bird, going to bait with the Feather Dance. That gets the shield and is going to lower the attack, which means we now tank this Thunder Punch very well, and that will allow us to build up to the Brave Bird, guaranteeing either a knockout or the second shield. We're going for the Big Bird, and that means a big bang! There it is, Hypno taken out, and we end up flipping Switch while keeping a shield advantage. And that is very important because we need a shield advantage in order to handle that Whiscash in the back. Tried holding off from throwing here against the Wigglytuff in case they decided to swap. And of course, as soon as I decided to throw after over farming, they make a brilliant catch onto the Whiscash. We swap out into the Dragalge now, and with a shield advantage, we can actually flip this matchup now, which otherwise would not be possible. So from this point forward, it's pretty smooth sailing. Just want to do as much chip damage to the Whiscash as possible, shield up everything, and get it extremely low to the point where Ninetales could come in and finish it off. If the Dragalge doesn't do it already on its own, Wigglytuff comes back in. It is going to take us out. Pretty sure we survive anything here, but if you want to play it safe, shield up like I did right there and throw one Weather Ball, which should be enough to take out the Wigglytuff and give you the big dub, just like the Warriors in Game 2, bouncing back from a huge, devastating loss in Game 1. I think the Celtics are still going to take it in 7 on the road. I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but let me know who you guys got in the comments down below. Ninetales into Zweilous, once again a very challenging lead, going to swap out into the Pidgeot. Could make the argument to come in with Dragalge as well, but Pidgeot worked in the first battle, why not keep rolling with it right here? We did use one shield and the opponent swaps out into Wormadam Trash, which isn't exactly the best answer to Pidgeot, so we could actually take switch advantage right here. The main drawback is that when we go for the Brave Bird, we are lowering our own defense, which means Zweilous comes in here, able to Dragon Breath all the way down. That's going to give it a very nice energy lead, making it difficult for Dragalge once it comes back in. So we do allow this Body Slam to go through, commit to the Dragon Tail down, and it is a Vigoroth in the back. So going to throw an Aqua Tail right here. Opponent decides to no shield and we come back in with the Ninetales. At this point, because the opponent still has 2 shields, I actually was considering just going for straight fast move damage, thinking that was my only potential win con right here. Vigoroth does take us out. Going to shield this up and we need to Dragon Tail down before it reaches another move. But as you could see, Vigoroth is very spammy with those body slams, and maybe it would have been possible possible to win this if I actually use my shield instead of saving it for season 12, only a couple of days in. But look at this, we got Vladimir Putin here in the Go Battle League, and it's a Kanto Ninetales into a Lapras. This is an interesting matchup right here, and I have an idea in mind. I'm going to try and actually force the CMP tie here on the Surf, and if the opponent does end up CMP tying, we are going to try and catch the next Surf onto the Dragalge. So what we're going to do is actually reach the Weather Ball one turn before the Surf, let them throw one more Ice Shard, and then swap out into Dragalge to catch the resisted Surf. And even though we are taking super effective from these Ice Shards, the Lapras is low enough where we will be able to Dragon Tail down before they reach another charge move. So Putin's Lapras has been taken out, but he has an Aggron in the back. Thankfully, we do have a nice energy lead here with Dragalge because Aggron beats both Ninetales and Pidgeot in the back. This chip damage is going to be huge for us because we can at least put it in Weather Ball range for the Ninetales. Going to take some pretty significant damage here from the Aggron first, but Weather Ball should be enough to take it out. And hopefully they don't have a third answer for Pidgeot in the back. And I've got some good news. Marowak in the back, which means Pidgeot about to land the bravest bird. Hit him with that. Bang! There it is. Pidgeot sending that Marowak back to Moscow. And that was a pretty challenging team to go up against, but we were able to pull it out. And speaking of challenging leads, here's a bunny with a mean face. Diggersby not looking too friendly right now, and another tough one to see. So we swap out into Dragalge. The opponent responds with a Frostlass, and Dragalge surprisingly has a pretty decent matchup right here. Actually could win in the 2 shields despite taking super effective damage from these ice type moves. But I decide to let the Dragalge go down instead, preferring to get an energy lead on the Ninetales, preserving a shield advantage. Of course, we will have to give that shield back up here to respect this Shadow Ball, but Diggersby will come back in. Going to throw the Psyshock right here. Weather Ball is more energy efficient, but Psyshock does slightly more damage, and then we'll swap out into the Pidgeot. And the opponent has a Pelipper in the back, so Ninetales is in a pretty rough spot right here. We are going to let this first move go through. It is a Weather Ball. Going to throw a Feather Dance to lower the attack on the opponent right here. They decide to no shield, and we're just going to Gust all the way down. Pidgeot actually will survive a Weather Ball here, so we do not need to shield, and this means that Pidgeot could get to a Brave Bird, or we could lower the attack. We don't go for the bait here. Hit him with that. Bang! There it is. Diggersby actually surviving, but we get the CMP tie. Love to see it. Ninetales comes back in. They don't want the smoke, and we're going to be able to take that game. Jumping right into the next battle, we are leading Ninetales, this time into a Shadow Politoed. Once again, a very challenging lead. Going to swap out into Dragalge right here, and the opponent is going to throw a Weather Ball. Of course, we do not need to shield this, resisted damage. Still dealing quite a bit from a Shadow, but the opponent comes in with a Galarian Slowbro, and Dragalge wants absolutely no piece of this. But thankfully, we do get off double Aqua Tails right here, which are going to chunk away at this Slowbro. And from here, I think we just come in with the Ninetales, shield up once, and commit to the complete Fire Spin down, if possible. And it looks like it is. So now we're loaded on energy. Politoed is going to come back in. We'll throw one Psyshock right here before swapping out into the Pidgeot, and it is a Muck in the back. Now Muck does have access to Thunder Punch, but it doesn't actually KO. So I let the first one go through, and they go for the Acid Spray bait, which is a huge win con for us right here. If we shielded up that Acid Spray, we would end up losing this, but calling the bait pretty much guarantees that we are going to win right here, because Ninetales comes back in, going to Fire Spin all the way down. Muck is not going to KO with a Thunder Punch, especially after some Feather Dance. But Politoed about to get Psyshocked all the way back to reality. And that, my friends, is going to be another GG. So moving right along here into the next battle, we have Ninetales into Lickitung. This once again is a somewhat challenging lead, a little bit more neutral than the other ones. We swap out into Dragalge. and we lure out the Shadow Grand Bull right here. Going to throw one Aqua Tail, which is going to force the first shield from the opponent. They're going for a complete farm, so we're going to throw another Aqua Tail right here. They do survive, Dragalge goes down, and we will come in with the Kanto Ninetales. At this point, I'm really hoping they only reach one move. If it's a crunch, no defense drop, and thankfully that is the case. Lickitung comes back in. We are going to throw one Weather Ball right here before swapping out into the Pidgeot, and the opponent has a Dugong in the back, so this is looking really rough right here. Going for the Feather Dance first, and we actually get the shield, which is huge because now we survive this Icy Wind and we will be able to reach the Brave Bird. But are we going to be able to take out Dugong after having our attack dropped? Here it comes! 1 HP and an absolute dream. And Ice Shard registers before the Gust goes through, which means they have a move. They're going to try to lower the attack, so I call the Icy Wind bait, preserving the shield for the Lickitung. But is that attack drop going to cost us in this battle right here? Definitely a situation where having Overheat probably would have made a massive difference, and we don't have it. We have Psyshock, pretty garbage move for Ninetales, and as a result, we do end up losing that, but it was extremely close. GG's to the opponent. Let's hop into the next one. So this time we are going up against Vigoroth, another challenging lead for Ninetales here, so we swap out into Dragalge, and this is going to lure out the Abomasnow, which is good news for us because obviously we want to keep this away from Pidgeot, and the Ninetales will have a very solid matchup here once it comes back in. So going to get off one more Aqua Tail right here. This is going to put it in a very nice farm range for the Ninetales and only have to tank potentially a Weather Ball right here. So Ninetales will come back in. Abomasnow is quite low, so there isn't too much farm to gain from this. Weather Ball isn't doing anything really. Fire Spin down, and the opponent comes back in with the Vigoroth, preserving my shields for the Pidgeot, and I hold on to that Weather Ball as well. It is a Politoed in the back. The only real threat is a Blizzard, and the opponent is throwing too soon for that. So I decide to no shield the first one. Probably a mistake right there, but we go for the Feather Dance, which gets the shield. At this point, I have to start considering to shield, but since I threw a Feather Dance, there really is no point just yet. So now I pretty much have to shield, and I decided that I'm actually going to commit to the complete Gust down. And once again, another 1 HP and a dream. That is huge because it forces our final shield. And as far as this match is concerned, grabbing that final shield is going to make a massive difference. As is this right here. Not able to reach the second Feather Dance, which means we are going to lose this game. Literally coming down to inches right here. Sometimes that's how it goes down in Go Battle League. IVs could matter. And to be honest, those are usually the most exciting games. GG to the opponent. Let's hop into the next one. So jumping into this next battle, we are going to be leading Shadow Ninetales, this time into a Drifloon. This doesn't seem like a great lead, but if we do call some Icy Wind baits, it's actually not too bad. So let's see how this plays out right here. Going to throw the Weather Ball first, and we have a big call to make. Are they going for the Shadow Ball or the Icy Wind? I decide to call the bait right here, and fortunately for us, it is indeed the Icy Wind. So getting to another Weather Ball right here, this is still going to do nice damage to the Drifloon, and at this point, I figure they have to go for the Shadow Ball, so I'm going to shield up and commit to the Fire Spin down, which we are able to do. Whiscash comes in, we swap out into Dragalge. Going to have to take a Mud Bomb here, which will deal some nice damage, but we are going to get to some Aqua Tails as well, and we still have Pidgeot left in the back for this Whiscash if need be. So one more Mud Bomb coming through, not going to shield this. Dragalge is going to go down, and of course, we are going to wait out the entire switch timer because the opponent is not switch locked, but we are. They get to a move at 1 HP and a dream. We have to respect the Blizzard here, pretty much the lose con in allowing a Blizzard to go through right here, especially when they're only down to one Pokemon left. I decide to throw the Feather Dance first, just in case they do have a Fire Blast. We will tank that a lot better. And now at this point, all we have to do is set up for the most electrifying move in Pogo Esports Entertainment. It's that combo play. Big Mac and the fries. 1, 2, hit 'em with that bang. There it is. Marowak taken out. Whiscash goodbye. And that's going to be a GG. So here we go. One more battle, and it is going to be a Kanto edition of Shadow on Shadow Crime. Ninetales into Dragonair. This is really bad. We swap out into the Pidgeot, and Dragonair is staying in right here. We are going to shield up this first Aqua Tail, and the opponent swaps out into Ferrothorn before we could get off this move onto Dragonair. So Feather Dance instead onto the Ferrothorn. Even if they are running Thunder, this is actually a very good matchup for Pidgeot right here. So we do tank the Thunder, and unfortunately, we were actually at the Brave Bird, but since I clicked on the Feather Dance instead, I decided to hit no bubbles, thinking that only one Bullet Seed would take us out. Well, I was clearly wrong. And instead of getting a bunch of farm for the Ninetales, I realized that I could have probably taken out this Ferrothorn if I just hit a few bubbles instead. It is what it is. The opponent comes in with Dragonair right here. We are going to throw a Weather Ball. This is going to be resisted, but Dragonair is very classy, and we get that snipe with Dragalge. And guess what? It's Shadow Machamp in the back, and these two shields aren't really going to do much right here, because Dragalge is absolutely chunking away here with these Dragon Tails. Just need to shield this up no matter what it is, because this guarantees that we get off a bit more damage right here. And even if they reach the Rock Slide, once again at 1 HP and a Dream, Ninetales just needs one Fire Spin, and we are going to spin our way to a big victory right there with this team. Overall, I thought it performed very well, and even though these are very early ranked battles, I think it does have some play. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below, and if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.